Well, I've been telling you about news that broke in the early hours of the morning that last night renowned playwright Mbongeni Ngema passed on while driving from Lusikisiki. And today we are now getting some reaction to that news. Let's now speak to one young artist who was mentored by Mbongeni Ngema. This young man calls Mbongeni Ngema his father. The young artist we are talking about is Menelisi Nkambule. At some point, Ngema took him into his home and sheltered him during his mentorship. Good morning, and thank you so much for making time for us, and condolences to you as well.
Good morning to yourself and good morning to the viewers. Thank you very much for the heartfelt condolences.
Tell us about your relationship with Mbongeni Ngema. At what point did you guys meet, and at some point also where he actually allowed you to sleep over at his home while you're trying to build your career?
Yeah, I first met the legendary Dr. Mbongeni Ngema in the year 2006 when I was just only 16 years old, doing community theater in the small town of Middleburg in Mhluzi, in Mpumalanga province. His younger brother, Nhlanhla Ngema, had just returned from New York. He was the original cast member of Sarafina and also the Lion King. Most of you will remember him as Stimela Sasezola on Sarafina. So that man raised me in the arts and discovered me and molded me. But fast forward to 2006, we then met again with Dr. Mbongeni Ngema in 2009 when we did The Lion of the East. And then in 2010, and then Ngema saw the talent in me and the passion burning inside of me and made me and put me into the cast of Sarafina, which was a smaller version of Sarafina. We were performing wherever tourists will be doing Sarafina and stuff like that. That's when I first started to work with him now on a professional level. So yeah, I've met Dr. Mbongeni Ngema for more than 15 years right now, and I'm very saddened by his passing.
Yeah, and what would have led him to say to you, come and live with him?
Well, it is the burning desire of wanting to do better in life generally, and wanting to be a perfectionist. I'm a perfectionist in everything that I do, and that's what he saw in me. He saw that this young man, he doesn't want to leave any stone unturned when on stage. I want to explore with the text. I want to explore with the music. I wanted to explore with the dance. I even went to him and I was like, Baba, how do you do it? You know, how do you manage to write these beautiful stories and put them? Because I love literature and I love text. I love reading books. And that's one thing that he picked up on me. I can't even count the number of books we exchanged, just me and him. The last book he gave me was Askari, written by James Lamin, and I read that book and I was like, yo, Baba, this is an amazing book, and so that's what made him to take me in, I think, Yeah. He saw that I want to do better.
Yeah, and then you get to then play in Sarafina. Let me just quickly confirm this with you, Menelisi. How old are you?
I am currently 33 years of age.
33 years old. Do you know that means that Sarafina is older than you? Because Sarafina is from 1988. Sarafina is older than you, and then you get to play on, get to be part of the cast. Tell us about the character that you played, but also what that moment meant for you to actually be part of the cast of a world-renowned play like Sarafina.
Well, my brother, I must say that it has been an honor for me first to work with Dr. Mbongeni Ngema and be a part of a Broadway hit musical called Sarafina. I grew up watching Sarafina just like you and me. I'm younger than Sarafina. Sarafina is way older than me. It was first created in 1988. I wasn't even born. I grew up watching it on TV. I did not know that the Sarafina is actually a theater production, and then it was adapted into a film. So when I first got to make cast and be a part of Sarafina, I couldn't believe it. I went the whole town running, telling my whole community that I'm going to be working with Mbongeni Ngema.
Okay, we seem to be losing that line there to Menelisi. Let's try again. If you can hear us, you're still explaining being part of the cast, Menelisi? Okay.
Yes. I need to rotate the screen. Okay. Give me one second. It's this technology.
Okay, we're trying to establish that line there to Menelisi, who's speaking to us about how he met Mbongeni Ngema and how Mbongeni Ngema also spoke about his talents. And then later on, Menelisi was part of the cast of Sarafina, of a world-renowned play. This is Sarafina that also showed at Broadway. And by the way, earlier this year, as I was telling you a bit earlier on, that I had an interview with Mbongeni Ngema in May earlier on this year, and that was because of another milestone. And it was the second time that Sarafina was announced to be one of the films that are shortlisted to be played or aired at the prestigious Cannes Festival. It was selected amongst various other world-renowned plays as well as movies. But this particular film, Sarafina, I know that you have your personal memories of Sarafina as well, and maybe you'd like to share that with us. You can do so on 011-714-0661 or 0662. You can also drop me an X at the agenda_SABC or at Aldrin Simpia. Or maybe, just maybe perhaps you were one of those people who were still in school at the time and you were part of that craze that was happening where in schools children were being encouraged to actually do the Sarafina choreography. And welcome back. Let's conclude that conversation with Menelisi Nkambule, who is one of the people that were mentored by world-renowned playwright, that is Mbongeni Ngema, who died last night during a head-on collision. And Menelisi, you were still explaining to us the role that you play as part of the cast of Sarafina and what that moment meant for you.
Yes. I played the role of the policeman, the apartheid policeman in the Broadway hit musical. And I remember as a young man, I did not understand the impact that apartheid South Africa had in the today society of this country, you know. And Ngema sat with me down and started telling me the stories of Askaris. He started telling me the stories of Imbi. He started telling me of the stories of the black policemen who joined, the black police men who joined the special branch of police and were working against the fighting of apartheid, you know. And then he made me understand how their psyche, how their thought process, how they think, you know, and how they saw things, how they would abuse and inflict pain on a fellow black brother. And then in my mind, it clicked immediately. I thought of him on Sarafina, the movie, because he was playing Sabela, you know, who was also doing the same. He was working with the white master, you know. So that's how I built and developed my character. And I went back to him. I was like, okay, this is where I'm centering my character. You know, I'm thinking along these lines, and he approved. And since then, I've always enjoyed that role of playing a policeman in Sarafina.
Yeah. And in conclusion, what is it that you then take from what he has taught you and ensure that his legacy continues to live on? We've listened to some of the tributes from interviews that some of my colleagues had a bit earlier on. And one of the points that was raised is that he's a multifaceted, talented person, whether it is speaking about him as a composer, a musician, an actor, a playwright, he is present. So what is it that you'll be taking away from that interactions and the moments that you've had with him?
Well, first things first, I will take his kindness. Ngema was kind. Ngema had a lot of humility. Ngema loved people. Ngema embraced not only me, but many of us whom he didn't give birth. You know, we are not his biological kids, but we are his sons and daughters in the arts. So he embraced us with love. And he gave us the best advices. I will take that spirit sakhe sobuntu. I will take it with me to the grave. But also I will take and cherish all the great moments I have shared with him, be it at the rehearsal space, be it at his house, be it while we were driving together, rushing to a meeting. Those conversations that we had, I will hold on to my heart forever, and I will make sure God be with me. I'll make sure and try by my all best and capability to make sure that I remember him and write my own musical in honor of him, even if it's not going to be about him, but a musical that I will write, it will also be in honor of him because of the talent that he imparted on me and that he shared with me and shared his space with me and his brain and his heart. I will cherish that and take it to the grave and make sure that the legacy of Dr. Mbongeni Ngema doesn't die while I am still alive.
Menelisi, thank you so much for your time. Menelisi Nkambule is one of the people that were mentored by the world-renowned playwright Mbongeni Ngema, who died late last night.